Okay, let's go ahead, find something new. Speedball 2, Brutal Deluxe. Well, I wanted new, and I have never heard of this. So, yay? Okay, for a second there I wasn't really sure if it was waiting for me to hit the button to progress past, you know, the developer screens. It's just taking its sweet time on these developer screens. Oh, that's never a good sign. Crawfish Interactive was one of those European shovelware companies. And yeah, let's get the game volume up a little bit, because I can barely hear it. Kinda doubt that you guys can hear it either. Not that there's very much to hear at the moment, but... there. Okay, so... options. What do we got? Crowd, music, blah blah blah. Credits in the options. Fan-frickin-tastic. Okay, so demo mode, and hitting A takes us out of demo mode. So let's just go to quick start. Apparently we are the team on the lower right. That's kind of different. And we have a lot of locked teams. We'll go with Baroque, because it's the closest thing to blue it will allow us to pick. And I haven't hit a button yet. Or that is to say, I have hit directions on the D-pad, and they have done nothing. So, is this like those European football manager things where you get to make decisions and, you know, you decide how the, you know, who's going to be on the team and basically be a manager of a team but don't actually play the games? Am I dark blue? No. Okay, I think I am. Yes, I am the dark blue then. I was just choosing my opponents, and wow. Totally unintuitive there, game. So I figured, you know, you would choose your own team, not choose your starting opponents. Also, every character, regardless of if you're on screen or not, moves in the directions that you're, you know, moving your controller. Or, well, you know, the controls, because mobile system, when you're not in direct control of the ball, I suppose. So, okay, so A button is to throw. Don't know what the B button or the L or the R buttons do yet. That was some amazing power slide right there. So, yeah. Wow. Don't even know what to compare this to. And yeah, while you have the ball, L and R and B do nothing. Not a single thing. Okay, I love that slide. That slide is making up for a lot of things in this game. Let's try getting around. Nope. Come on. Nope. Because I'm not even sure, I can't be on screen long enough to actually even try other buttons to do things. Oh, time for the interval, whatever we're playing with, ran out, I suppose. And I guess we've switched sides now. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that even when you're on defense, that's got to be the fastest time for an entire, you know, two teams to just switch sides completely. Just yeah, no, let's not do that. But yeah, really am quite sure that when you are playing defense, when you don't have the ball... I'm sorry, that slide. When you're playing defense, let's finally get this said. The A button is the only button that does things. That's sort of the slide check. The B and the L and the R buttons do nothing. Look at this. Nothing's happening. The other buttons do nothing. It is a freaking one-button Game Boy Advance game. Like, it's something when that happens, you know, like, you find that happening with, like, arcade collections or Atari collections. That makes sense. That's a thing you expect. You don't really expect it out of what I assume is a brand new game at the time. And I did check, and this was ported onto a lot of other things, but none of those things had, you know, Atari-like controllers with one button to do things with. Even on stuff like the computers it was ported to, like, it was on the Amiga and other European-based computer systems. Even those had mice that had two buttons. So, you know, really shouldn't have been impossible for this to have more than one button. Not going too well. Well, we're already in the lead anyway, so... Yeah, let's just run out the timer and hope that these were halves and not like thirds or quarters. Because again, I have no idea what the intervals for the timers are. I don't know how many sections of this we're going to play. Okay, that's looking like it might be over. Yes! Haha! And that is basically the first sports game I've played beginning to end of even a single match in an incredibly long time. Just the fact that it was so short was rather nifty. But that aside, this was a sort of okay sports game. I wouldn't really play this over other actual sports game stuff, I don't think. And yeah, take a look at the story. Looks like the usual kind of dystopian future. Humans love violence, so let's make sports super violent because that is the obvious conclusion. even though in the actual gameplay, like, not a single fight broke out, not a single drop of blood was spilled. Like, sure, we were slide checking each other, but that happens in normal soccer today. A lot. Way the hell worse than that happens in hockey. Way the hell worse happens in football with tackling and all the other kinds of things going on there. Even some freaking baseball injuries can get worse than that. Although that does usually involve either sliding or sliding into another person. So, you know, I guess this has been Speedball 2, Roodle Deluxe. Not really something I would recommend. This has just been a kind of subpar sports game. And, you know, when they try to invent sports like this, it doesn't often go well. So, yeah, nothing else to say about that. Alright, let's see what else we got. Kisekko, Gurumi, Chesty, Nuigurumi-tachi. Wow. Okay, we got a mouthful of game here. Well, mouthful of a name, anyway. Okay, so... oh. Well, guessing this will be of the, RPG and/or adventure style of that sort of thing like we run into so very often. Oh, and I just skipped the initial dialogue and cutscene, but well, we weren't going to get much out of it anyway. Sound test, sound effect test, message, speed, don't know what that is, and return to title. Okay, let's get started, I suppose. So let's go ahead and... I don't know if this is a guy or a girl, so... I don't care either way, we're not going to be here long. That is the wrong character. Should be in Kana, but I don't really much care. And it looks like we're going to see the cutscene that was at the beginning anyway, that we skipped. Yeah, that is exactly what she said earlier. So let's see. Yeah, earlier I was just trying to hit the button to progress the text, but it was one of the ones where hitting the button skipped the entire cutscene. Now it is of the style of hitting the button progresses the text. And yeah, I would wager that we are in fact a girl. How about we speed this up, because this is just the slowness of this dialogue being written and people doing things. Apparently these three characters are very important, even though the portraits make them look like, I don't know, they're like 6 years old, give or take. And this is the kind of Japanese game that I am just not a fan of going through for this, you know, for these Lexi games. It's just so much text at the beginning of almost every Japanese game that we have to wade through. And, you know, we can sort of make guesses at, you know, things going on. Obviously, these are the villains here, but, you know, it's just all of these types of games. You have to sit through an hour of dialogue just to get into the actual game and be mostly unable to do anything, obviously, because of the language barrier. Could speed it up heavily if we could, you know, actually just not have an hour of dialogue to wade through, and, you know, get right to not being able to play the game. Eventually, you know, we might be able to play this game, and by that I mean wander around, talk with a few people, probably be contained in the first town because we are supposed to do a thing and we won't know what that thing is that we are meant to do. Or maybe this is just, cutscene, the game, and it's just a total storybook with visuals in game form. You never can tell. Oh, I've been given a choice. Let's say no. Let's save there and load this and say yes. Oh, saying yes gives us immediate control. Saying no gives us slightly less immediate control. Whatever. At least we actually have control, finally. And we're starting Chapter 2! Oh my dear sweet lord! Chapter 1 of the game, completely text, and then walking 10 paces, opening a door, and going into a house. Now it's time for more dialogue! Wasn't the game portion so much fun? So engaging, so compelling. This is setting new records for this kind of game. Usually when you are given control, you know, you have control for a good while. Wow, and now we've gone into flashback. Oh me oh my here. I think it's pointing out what chests are. You know, treasure chests. Okay, we're in control again! I'm not walking into that house. I don't trust houses anymore. What? What are we supposed to do with the... Are we supposed to put things on the scarecrow, I guess? Things we don't have, of course, because, you know, we only just started. Okay. I guess we can play Scarecrow Dress Up. And we can't go out that way. What a shock. Really is the kind of game that I have the least to say about, because without being able to, you know, translate the stories or anything like that, there's no way to differentiate between any of these games. They are, for all intents and purposes, exactly the same game. You start the game, you get 10 hours of dialogue, you're in control for a little while, you wander around a town, talking with people and not having a clue where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to, you know, trigger the event that will allow you to leave the town. And that's it. It starts with Kisekko, so Kisekko, and it's on Game Boy Advance. So yeah, check it out on Game FAQs first to get the full name, and, you know, go from there. And also, it doesn't seem to be the type of game where I can examine things or, you know, open things other than the aforementioned treasure chests. Also, we can't talk with certain people. Unless I'm just, okay, I was somehow failing the timing of push button to talk. How is that a thing that can be managed? Let's see if there's anything going on upstairs. Not a fan at all of the slow rate in which the text is put on the screen in this game. Quite a lot of NES games put text on the screen faster than this. Okay, and I'm told that there is not a translation that the stream audience can find. Definitely not a surprise, and I don't think it's much of a shame, because I think even if I did have an actual translation, I don't think I would be all that interested in the goings-ons of this game. I don't think it really seems all that compelling based on what little I can glean from this. I will say, though, that this is bigger than the average first town that you are stuck in this kind of game. So what's that, yeah. Looks a little bit like that, character from, Evangelion, whose name I completely forget. Although I guess, generic anime characters often end up looking like each other. Okay, so, you know, I'm not actually going to try to talk to everyone and everything in this town, since, getting around with all of these bushes and everything else in the way is getting a bit bothersome. So I think I'm just going to say that, this has been a Japanese game with an incredibly long name, which I no longer remember, and, you know, it, goes past the little, preview thing in the file folder that I have open, and can see at the moment. It has been very much like another, well, most other of these, style of Japanese games, most of which have very long names themselves. Yeah, okay, we just gotta check out in here. So, yeah, totally forgot that this was where we had already been. Yeah, not much else to say, so yeah, we are pretty much done here.